All right, so the next question is, what is the derivative of an absolute value? So the absolute value is a function, and its convention is written out like this. So it has two bars, and there's a variable on the inside. So regardless of whether x is positive or negative, it will always pop out a positive number. So always pop out a positive x. Okay, so that's what an absolute value is. And the question is asking us to derive an absolute value, so in terms of x. So let's say that y equals this. So they want us to derive dy over dx of this. Okay? What does that equal to? Okay? So, oops. This is very tricky because we're never really taught how to derive absolute values and like any tricks or any kind of techniques, right? So we'll have to, I guess, redefine what an absolute value is, and we'll have to go from there, okay? So the absolute value can be thought of equivalent to the square root of a number that is squared, right? But then this is also squared, all right? So the absolute value can be equivalent to a squared number that is square rooted and then squared again. Okay, so regardless of whether it's negative or positive, the square will make it positive, and it would be square rooted and it would be squared. So the square here is to get rid of the square within, and then the square root is then undone by the square outside. Okay. I'm sorry. There should be a square here. What am I saying? Sorry about that. I got confused. Instead, so the square is to remove the negative value, and the square root is to undo the square. Okay. So another way to write it is x squared 1 over 2. Yeah, I saw the junior tutor here. They wrote a square root and they put a 2 as an index, which I guess makes sense, but that confused me. So when we're saying that we want to derive this, we can alternatively write it out as the derivative of x squared rooted. Okay, so we're going to use this definition of an absolute value to find the derivative of an absolute value. Okay, so this is just a lot of chain rule here. So we're going to do the first chain rule, which is the outside brackets. So this equals to 1 over 2 x squared negative 1 over 2. And then we're going to do the inside brackets. So here I'll just follow the junior tutor solution. So the inside brackets here is going to be 2x. So this is the full term here. So this 2 and this 2 cancel out. So we get x squared minus half times x. Okay, cool. So this can alternatively be rewritten as this. And this is just the absolute value, right? According to our definition. So we can just replace that with absolute value. So now we have found our derivative of the absolute value, which is just x over absolute value of x, okay? So that's the derivative of an absolute value. So the junior tutor did the same solution. They found a different way of representing the absolute value by representing it as a number that is squared and then square rooted. And then they derived that using the chain rule within a chain rule to come to our conclusion here. And then they simplified and they recognized that x squared square rooted is absolutely just the absolute value. So they just put the absolute value in instead, and this is the solution. So the solution is correct. Cool.